First and foremost, boys, I'm sorry about this being an extremely late upload today. I think the video is, what, about like 6 hours late today, but I was just getting really busy with pre-spring break stuff because, when you're, at university, your teachers just really like to slam you with a lot of work right before you go on break. I just don't really get the idea. You would think you'd try to, like, wind everything down and then send everybody off to break, but no, apparently you want to give everybody 767 different assignments. But enough about my own personal life. I know I'll probably get a bunch of comments of people being like, oh yeah, I relate to that really hard. But we're not actually going to talk about the event in today's video. Today, I want to talk about the strengthening quest that people were telling me about. That there was a buff to, I believe people said it was Tesla and Edison, if I'm remembering correctly. I obviously, when we do these videos, I don't check out the buffs beforehand because I like to kind of see what's going on. So yeah, let's just go ahead and look at this real quick and see what's going on here. So, okay. So it is Tesla, it is Edison. Let me just, instead of looking at this screen where I can't read anything, let's see. So, this is the second time they buffed this skill, no? Right? Right? This is the second, yeah, this is the second time they buffed the skill. I was like, okay. This is what it was at. This I already thought was really strong. Okay, like this is already a very strong skill, right? Just like even at base face value, being able to give yourself 50% NP gain for 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown is already a very strong base skill. Then they buffed it up just a little bit because then they're like, okay, well, let's have him give himself the 50%, but then all allies get 30% for 3 turns as well, which is just extremely strong because it's kind of like his quote-unquote charisma in a way, that he's able to basically just gas up the entire party's NP gain. It makes him really good with his support casters as well, because even if you're using him with someone like, say, double Merlin, your Merlins are going to be spamming their NP all over the place now, because they're just going to have an even higher NP gain rate on top of all the other nonsense that Merlin is doing to spam his NP. So, how they make this better? Let's see. Improves own debuff success rate for 1 turn. So that's for his NP down here, right? Yeah, because he's not packing like the 500% stun chance that someone like, say, Skyhawk or Enkidu has, where it's basically guaranteed at that point. So this is supposed to help him get his stuns. What is the percentage? 40%? With that 40% right there? That's pretty good. It makes it almost a guarantee stun on his NP, and he does have an AoE NP, so this means his NP now is pretty much a guaranteed AoE stun, which is extremely powerful, because it allows you to just tell your opponent, no, I don't think you're going to be doing anything this turn. It's technically another form of survivability, since, he already has the guts. I believe he has the guts, right? I'm not crazy, right? Yeah, okay, he does have the guts. I was like, I'm not crazy, he does have guts, right? But so he has that. Ooh, and then they gave him the buff success rate. Okay, that's the other thing I wanted to see. Okay. So now he not only has the guts to keep himself alive, but now he also has a reliable way to mass stun the entire enemy party. And if you don't know why he's getting this buff success rate, it's because of the NP thing right here, right? It makes these both guaranteed, because how it works is that these have an 80% chance and this 20% chance adds into that. So it literally just is additive. So the NP damage buff is now completely guaranteed. This is going to make Tesla way, way better, right? Because being able to guarantee this for yourself is ridiculously strong, right? It's very, very strong, because this, oddly enough, is not a 1-turn NP damage buff, right? So that means for 3 turns, he's going to be packing a 30% NP damage buff, a 20% attack buff, and then potentially a very good special damage mod against, like, quite a few servants, actually. Like, if you look at Earth, this is quite a chunky bit of servants. Unfortunately, it does list servants, right? That's the only unfortunate bit, because if he could hit all enemies that are Earth, like, geez, would this guy be absolutely broken. But this is still, like, very good, because even against sabers, right, you can see there's quite a few sabers with Earth, and there's a decent bit of berserkers as well. And these berserkers tend to be kind of common enemies that you will find in wave 3s, especially people like Artorias and stuff as well. So it's actually really strong. And the other thing that people really don't tend to talk about this stuff is that he makes it really good for people that, like, maybe you don't have a moon cancer to deal with Avengers or something. No, wait, that's the opposite way around. You don't have a ruler to deal with the... No, wait. No, it is moon cancers. Okay, yeah. Sorry, we have so many classes now that it's hard to keep track of it sometimes. But let's say you don't have a moon cancer to deal with the Avengers, right? You can now bring Tesla to deal with any of these fights. Because even though he doesn't have type advantage, because he now, well, for one, has this, and also can guarantee these 2 buffs, it's not really going to matter. He's kind of just going to choke slam them into the ground. And then Sky Attribute is also a hefty chunk of service. Is there anybody that overlaps, actually? No, they're not 2 separate. Never mind. It doesn't matter if they overlap because they're not 2 separate buffs. Never mind. This lets him hit a few more people as well. Yeah, I can see Heracles in there. Heracles wasn't in here originally. Herc is a pretty common enemy that you'll fight. Yeah, this is really good. Because this is, like, Tesla is just really strong now. Like, Tesla is just kind of a chatty servant. And he's not, well, he is story locked, but he's not limited, right? So you could technically pull him at any time. And don't forget, he's packing a 50% battery as well. Like, this guy is really good. Like, if you have Koyanskaya and you have Tesla, this guy is pretty broken. Like, I'm not really gonna lie. Let me... just real quick, pull up his damage, because I know his damage is usually like a little bit lower than the other AoE guys, but I want to see exactly how much lower it is. I want to double check. Yeah, he might be the best of the group now. Like, I know that sounds really odd to say, but the 50% battery is very ideal when dealing with the Koyanskaya meta. Being able to have your own natural 50% battery is a big deal in comparison to having the unnatural one where you have to use the append skill down here. Because using the append skill, you have to jump through a few more hoops, because the whole point of Koyanskaya is that she gets you your battery back, so you can fire again on the final turn. But if you have a 30% battery, you'll come up 20% short, and you got to do something to get that extra 20%, right? It's going to involve like plug suiting or running a different servant or just kind of doing some minutia, right? But that you don't have to do if you have these servants that just have their own 50% battery. It just makes it a bit more clean. And then instead of trying to run somebody that, let's say, is going to, I don't know, that you need to bring for more NP, you can bring like an additional support type servant for like something else. Like you'd be like, oh, I could bring Himiko now instead of having to bring like Merlin or something, right? It kind of like opens you up to be able to do whatever you want, as opposed to being more gridlocked into certain servants. He might be one of the best. Like, these two obviously still outdamage him. And I think, like, Enema Unleash is definitely probably the best special damage mod of the group here. Maybe I'll do a video comparing all of them, actually. Maybe we'll just do, maybe we'll do a whole video just being like, is Tesla now the best AoE servant, or AoE archer? But yeah, he's definitely extremely strong, for lack of, you know, being concise, because apparently I don't know how to be concise. But yeah, let's peep Edison. Now, Edison received the buff to his star skill. Okay. Where am I going? Where's Edison? There he is. Not that. This one. Okay. So Edison, I just like to say before we talk about him, he's one of these servants that I think has the potential to be really strong. It's just like he doesn't really have realized potential right now. And I think starting to buff him, like, this is all kind of like moving in a good direction. Like, we're kind of like moving in this great direction with these two skills right here. Let's see what they do here, because this is giving 10 stars and 10% NP every turn. Honestly, you make this targetable, it might go crazy. So he still gets the target. Okay. There. Okay. That's actually way better. Yeah, oh my goodness. Dude, he's slowly becoming cracked. It's a shame this isn't targetable, but this is insane. This is 50% NP over the course of 5 turns. This is really strong. This essentially is functioning as his like Giga Charisma. Keep in mind that the cooldown being 8 turns really doesn't matter because they last for 5 turns, right? So it still kind of like balances out. So like, I guess a normal Charisma, the downtime is 2 turns. The downtime for this is 3 turns, but this is still extremely strong. Because this will actually stay up when a lot of your other servants, their skills go down. This will still be up because of the extremely long turn counts, right? So it'll give you a little bit of overlap that you could still at least have some buffs up while your other servant's buffs are going down. And by the time this goes down, your other servant's buff should be coming back up. So this is pretty insane. There's not a whole lot to talk about with Edison though, because it's not like he's some like servant that's fighting in the meta, right? He's not Tesla over here, where these guys are all fighting with one another to see who's like the best AoE buster archer. Edison though, he's kind of like sneakily climbing up, being like, I can reduce skill cooldown, I can charge their NP gauge by 2 stages, you know, and now I have this like insane just general support skill, because Edison now is kind of just like a generic really good support if you want to use him in some fun team setups, right? Because everybody wants stars, everybody wants NP gauge, everybody wants NP damage, right? Like nothing here is restricted to any type of servant. Like everybody wants their skills back as soon as possible. Everybody really wants overcharge, right? Like everybody likes that. Well, I mean, generally, you might have like some weird servants that just don't like need it for whatever. And then, yeah, like these effects on his NP are also good. I knew his NP had something good on it as well. Like, this is nice. It's just the values for me are a little low. I mean, they're just kind of like nice things that he's also kind of doing to support the party. But this is really strong. Just kind of like sealing the entire enemy party for 1 turn. It's very strong. Okay, these are some really good buffs. I'm actually really happy with what they're doing here. These are very, very strong. Kind of sad that we're not seeing like an Odysseus buff or anything. I would have liked if Nero got a buff as well. That would have been pretty nice, but I would definitely take this. This is really, really good. I definitely like this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, with all that being said, you guys have yourselves a nice day. Peace, late guys.